Hey, what's going on, guys? Mike Jarovic here, coming at you with the Motivational Monday piece. Today, I wanted to talk about a topic that hits home, something I'm going through now at Condemn Labs, and I always like to talk about things that I'm actually going through or things that I'm hypothetically going through or been through. I don't like to talk like third-party situations or nothing based on experience. To me, it's just like, it's very hard to talk about something that I haven't done. But I want to talk about entrepreneurship and some of the trials and tribulations of scaling a business. So right now, Condemn Labs for the last couple of years has been in this growth phase, and it's been a little bit of an ugly scenario for me personally, because you can grow to a place of where you don't have the necessary skill set to get to the next level. You can kind of cap off your own ceiling there. And then as an entrepreneur, a hustler, a leader, a business executive, it's your job to kind of figure out, okay, what do I do now? And that's a great problem to have, right? It's a great problem to have, but it only works if you're a person who's interested in growing, in developing, in figuring it out. You have to be willing to want to learn. You have to try new things. You have to be coachable. You have to constantly educate yourself. Every new level that I've ever grown to with the brand, and sometimes we use monetary gains as a way to gauge that, but I don't do that as the only metric. I look at how many people shop with the brand. I look at how many accounts we're in. I look at how many countries we're in. I look at how many products we've developed over the years and still sell. So there's, how many new products we bring on. I look at it from a bunch of different perspectives, and you have to, right? But like the main thing is constantly being a student and always educating yourself. Every time you get to the next level, it's going to require something different from you to take it past that next level. And sometimes that's not easy, especially if you haven't grown up in the space, or you didn't have a great mentor, or nobody put their arm around you as a young kid and say, hey, I'm going to show you how to do this, man. Just stay with me. It's really not easy. And I've learned a lot of these bumps and bruises, and I've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years in stupid mistakes and just a bunch of dumb stuff, just things you should have not done, but I just didn't know any better, right? And then when you're in the trenches of actually doing it and the gunshots are going off, and there's emotions flaring up and, adrenaline is pumping, you make different types of decisions, as opposed to now where I'm at for the old problems that Michael had. I wouldn't even see those problems as problems. I would just be able to troubleshoot them and figure them out probably right off the top of my head with the sentence, because I've been there, done that, right? Just like anything else we do in life. So I think, entrepreneurship and scaling, you have to be obsessed with growth. You have to be coachable. You have to want to educate yourself. That's a huge, huge thing. Another thing is, man, I can't stress this one enough, hiring fast and firing faster. When you're an entrepreneur in the beginning, you're wearing a million different hats, you're doing a million different things, and that's cool. You should have your hands in every aspect of the business. But some of the things that you should do right away, and this is something I've struggled with and I'm still struggling with, is once you grow to a certain degree or a certain aspect, you have to take one of those hats off and put them on somebody else's head, and eventually get to a point of doing that so many times where the person you hired for that job that you don't want to do is doing it way better than you were, and maybe they actually like that job, so that you can go back to doing what got you here. And that is, whatever you like to do. Like for me, it's a creative process. I hate when I'm involved in operations. I hate when I'm involved in micromanaging. Does that consist a lot of my day? You better fucking believe it. I hate it. I hate calling people up to see if they got something done for me. I hate doing things, repetitively asking. But if I don't do it, sometimes it just doesn't get done. If I don't hound the person, it doesn't get done. I hate being in that side of things. If I could be involved with the side of the business, the first half of the business where it's, product development, creating, troubleshooting, figuring it out, even delegating, I'm cool with. I don't have to see everything through and know that there was a big deal closed, or we made this much money, or we got into that account. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy those wins, but that's not what excites my day to day. That's not what I'm passionate about. That's not what I love. So you want to play people to their strengths, and you want to get people in positions to do the jobs that you don't want to do, starting with the most meaningful and the most impactful to the business. I think that's super imperative. And the second you could do that, the faster you could do it, And I might be talking a little bit of shit here because I haven't fully done it yet, but I've done it in a couple of roles where I've watched little seeds that I plant sprout out, small plants, and now they're big trees, right? So, and they've made my life a lot easier. I'm trying to do that with other aspects of the business. I'm getting there. I'm still a work in progress, right? So another thing that entrepreneurs struggle with when they're scaling their business is finding capital. I've taken out some fucking horrendous loans. I didn't know better in the beginning. I still have one open that I'm knocking off now and I'm paying down. And I'll tell you this, if I could tell you something about being an entrepreneur, when you start your business, it's pretty easy to get 50 grand. It's pretty easy to get 75,000. It's pretty easy to get 100,000. You just got to watch those interest rates. But when you hit a pinnacle, when you need $500,000, $1 million plus, you need to know what the fuck you're doing. You need to know who to go to. You need to have your books cleaned up, documents in place, and you have to find the right places to go to these things so that you can get the best amount of capital at the best rate. And it's not easy if you've never done that before. Like I said, one thing when you're banging up a credit card for 10 grand, pretty easy, right? Another thing is when you got to lay out, $400,000 for a purchase order and you're not getting that product for 12 weeks. And you got to be careful on how much you sell this because you're going to be out of stock of that. So you have to get creative, learn the funding game. There's people that will give you a line of credit. There's people that will fund purchase orders. If you know how to put a proposal together and an A+ business plan, and you could bring on somebody as an investor or an angel investor that actually knows the space, that's my recommendation. As long as you're willing to put the work in and you're not going to screw them and they trust you, and ultimately they're buying into you. So make sure you present it to them properly. And like I said, it's a huge, huge issue when you scale to a certain degree and the money gets a little bit bigger. You have to find creative ways to get money. It's something that I'm still learning at this point, and I'm still paying for some of the mistakes I've made in that situation. Another thing is time management. As you get busier, as things evolve, as business grows, it doesn't get easier. You have to learn how to manage your time better. You need to put yourself in positions where you're doing more of what you're great at because that's what got you here. You need to tackle the things that are the most important. Don't waste time with the things that aren't as important. Give those jobs out right away. But you have to make sure that you're managing your time. Other people are managing their time and you're getting the most production as possible. It's going to be really important because when things start to grow, when business starts to develop, the stakes get a little bit higher. You had a $50,000 business that you started and you lose 50 grand. I mean, it could be detrimental to somebody, yes, but picture when the brand hits $1 million and you're sitting on, $250,000 in stock now, or $5 million and you're sitting on $1 million in stock. And, the stakes become a little bit higher and there's definitely more to lose. So it becomes a little bit more stressful. So it's really important that you organize and you structure and you manage your time. I think that's really important. Another thing that I think is really important is hiring the right people for the job. One thing I've struggled with, I've been loyal to a fault, and it's biting me in the ass in year number 8 right now, is I've kept people in places for jobs that I should have fired them 4 years ago. There was no growth, no structure, no organization. I don't know why I left them there. It's making me feel like a weak leader. But I've had people right now and in positions that, I thought were the people for the job, or I was just content with them filling the shoes of somebody being there. When you want to hire A-list players, you want to find the best of the best that you could possibly afford, build with them. Those people are going to make your life easier. And a lot of the time you don't have to micromanage them. Let them develop systems, give them goals, incentivize them properly, and they will get things done. And I think I can't stress that one enough because it hits home right now. Like, I've had some people on the team that I just can't believe what I was settling for. And as those people are let go and I'm getting feedback from other people around the space that were dealing with them, the news is horrific. And I thought they were okay. And, I made a huge mistake. So, and I held on to things too long because I was like, oh, they're with me for this long. I can't let them go. Oh, this one has kids. Oh, this one has that. They're not going to be able to find this. And then, you know what? Come to, full circle. They were fine. They're fine. They left, they did their thing. They're going to do their thing. There's no hard feelings there whatsoever. I'm not mad about none of it. I'm only mad that I held on to things that I knew weren't going to evolve into something better when all the writing was on the wall. So I promised myself not to do that again. Make sure you hire A-list players. They might cost you more money in the upfront, but they will save you a lot of money in the long term, and you just have to find out how to manage them. Just how to manage them. Like I said before, a lot of times, these people don't need to be managed. Another thing you're going to notice when you're scaling your business and you're growing and the demand becomes overwhelming, you're putting in more hours, trying to hire people, you're dealing with the day-to-day, you're still wearing a lot of hats, you have to figure out that work-life balance. I kind of hate that word. It sounds very liberalish to me. It's just not like work-life balance. Oh, what is that? Yeah, whatever. But I do notice today I had a great conversation with a friend of mine. We were on the phone for about an hour bullshitting. He's a successful entrepreneur. Shout out to him. He knows who he is. And, you know, we were talking about kids and stuff like that and, you know, what's going on. And he was getting some shit about the daughter playing baseball. And I said something to him. And, you know, from my perspective, because I'm in a very similar situation. We're busy. We're running our businesses. We're still young, trying to figure out how to make money. We're figuring it out a little bit. We're trying to figure out how to make more, trying to set our families up, trying to set our future up. We don't want to work as hard as our parents, but then you start to miss out on key moments or you're not involved in certain things. And, you know, on the phone, I said, well, because I just had this epiphany in my own relationship where I talked about certain things and it was still fresh. I said, well, you know, so-and-so, think about the 20-year you from now. You've made all this money. You're overly successful. You can retire whenever the fuck you want. You're going to wish that you can go back 20 years from now and throw that ball around with your kid. You know, so I know I'm in the same boat. Like, you know, sometimes Emma comes home from school. I'm fucking tired, dude. The mental stress beats me up more than the physical stress when I was working in the Ironworkers Union. I was outside in the freezing cold or the hot sun all day, and I would come home and still go to the gym. Now, running something like this, the mental stress is taxing. So when I said that to him, yeah, I could tell he was still energetic. He was talking over it and he kept going. But then he came back to that point like 3 or 4 times and I could hear something in his voice change while he was talking to me. And he was pretty much, he's like, you know what? You're absolutely right. Okay, dude. Yeah. You're going to make all the money. You're making it. You're figuring it out. Got to figure out the work-life balance because at the end of the day, you don't get the same moment in life twice. It will pass you by quick. You have to carve out that time to do things for yourself, do things with your family, be there for key moments, make those memories and experiences. And then if you do that, everything else will fall into place. It'll be better. The work is not going anywhere. I'm not saying to scrap something because in the beginning of the business, dude, there's no work-life balance. So the first 5 years of this business, I was hungry. I was missing out on a lot of stuff. You know, even when I'm at stuff now, I'm like not physically present. My shell might be there, but my spirit is somewhere else. My brain is somewhere else sometimes, especially if it's stuff that doesn't stimulate my mind, you know. But my family, I've been blessed to. The girls poke around and drive me crazy sometimes. They make me come out of my shell. They make me do certain things. But I could tell you this one thing. I've never regretted a day where they dragged me away from work to go do something else ever in my life. I've always got distracted, wind up having fun, had a great time. And at the end of it, I was like, fuck, I got to do this more often. So, and that's important because that's what life's all about. Yeah, we're going to try to do this. We're going to try to set them up. We're trying to be successful for the future. We're trying to make a name for ourselves. We're trying to leave our mark, you know, here on this earth. But at the same time, don't be so busy doing that you miss out on everything else that's in front of you. Because at the end of the day, the clock never stops. We're not getting younger. And it gets harder as you go. And you don't want to live with regrets in the sense of, yeah, you want to make sure that you did everything you could possibly to do and fulfill your goals and your dreams and your passions and stuff like that. But you don't want to have regrets where you should have been there. You should have been throwing that ball around. You should have went to the pool club on the weekend. You should have been at this graduation. You should have went on that vacation. So you got to find that work-life balance. It's hard. It's very hard, especially in the beginning when you're building a business. It almost seems impossible, but it's something that you have to keep in mind at some point where you carve out healthy balances of time, where you allocate that to friends, family, gatherings, events, sometimes quiet by yourself, maybe reading a book, meditating, going to the gym, things like that. So guys, these are some of the issues that I deal with on a daily basis while I'm scaling a business and trying to figure it out. Hopefully this helps somebody, gave you 15 minutes, and I hope you listen to this while you're on your cardio. I'm going to be at you at least twice a month. I'm going to give you a Motivational Monday with something I have going on in the business. You guys comment back. Let me know what you think. If you want to hear more about this, even better. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, if there's something you want to ask me about the sports nutrition industry, if there's something I could do to help anybody out there, I help people all the time, like friends and family with things like this. It really, if there's something that I could actually help with, I'm there. Shoot me a question and I can make another topic about it and do another video. I would love to hear from you guys, and you can guys give me some direction on the content. I'm not going to stop filming. I'm going to keep talking. The reason why I like to do this right now is because everything I'm going through is like a fresh wound. It's right here, right now, and it's easy for me to talk about. Same way I should have been doing it 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago, but we're so busy in the hustle and bustle that you don't know, right? You don't know. Oh, should I be filming content? But I'm also not the guy to film content without walking the walk. So that's the big difference between myself personally and a lot of your favorite social media gurus. A lot of people have figured out how to use the camera and talk on the microphone, but they really haven't done nothing. So that's not me. With that being said, guys, I hope you have a productive week. Happy Motivational Monday. Hope you guys are out there killing it. I'm going to keep coming with the content. Hope you guys like it. I'm going to keep talking about how we're building the brand, things we're going through, new stuff, troubleshooting, business stuff, life stuff, things of that nature. I'm going to keep firing out the content so you guys get a little bit more of a feel of who I am, what I'm about. And I'm going to put myself out there a little bit. I'm not really scared to do so. I'm pretty confident. So thanks, guys, for listening. Hope I got you through your cardio session. If you have any feedback, please contact me direct, Michael Nicholas 718 or on Instagram, or Mike at condemnlabs.com. My email, easiest way to reach me.